Hello, and welcome to the CS4All Summit 2020. We are thrilled you've selected to attend our session to listen to our story of how we are building computer science into the experience for our students who are often seen with too many challenges to be successful in learning computer science. Our session is designed along a simple pathway. We'd like to take a moment to introduce ourselves and become friends while also sharing how our journey began. You'll hear from three wonderful educators who have chosen to see the urgency of including computer science opportunities in the academics for their students, despite the many hardships or baggage they carry with them to school. We are happy to share our learnings as a way to help you establish a program for your students or simply build upon what you may already have in place. We represent the Central Susquehanna Intermediate Unit 16, an organization that serves 5 counties and 17 school districts, among many non-public schools, in the central part of Pennsylvania. As a rural area, we strive to ensure our students develop the skills necessary to be productive members of society, no matter the path they choose upon graduation. Let's introduce our presenters for this session. My name is Tanya Denda, and I work for CSIU as the Instructional Technology and STEM Specialist. In this role, I have the distinct honor of working with educators in central Pennsylvania to integrate STEM and, more recently, computer science into their daily academic tasks. I can't think of a more rewarding yet challenging job for myself right now. Most recently, I was given the opportunity to facilitate the PA Smart Targeted Grant that CSIU was awarded. This gives me the opportunity to work with 3 outstanding educators whom you are about to meet and are the real story behind this session. So let's meet Kayleen, Jennifer, and Teresa.
Hi, my name is Kayleen Fotts, and I am an educator at the Central Susquehanna Intermediate Unit 16. I'm currently a special education teacher in a K-6 specialized emotional support program. The program is split up between 2 classrooms, K-3 and 4-6. I am the 4-6 teacher. However, I see all of the K-6 students because I am the math and science teacher. Our population of students come to us with a variety of academic needs, as well as intense social and emotional, as well as behavioral needs and challenges that they face. What makes our program different from other emotional support classrooms is that we are located in an area that is different from their home district. So they have to travel a bit farther distance to our program than if they were traveling to their school. However, our goal is to encourage students to gain social skills as well as ways to self-regulate themselves in order to get them back to their regular ed school. This grant has given us opportunities that our students may not otherwise have, so we've been very thankful for that, and we are very excited to see where this journey continues to take us.
My name is Jennifer Bowman, and I teach upper middle and high school emotional support and a full-time emotional support alternative educational placement. I teach English language arts and mathematics. And this year, through this opportunity provided through PA Smart, I've also been able to integrate computer science into my classroom, and I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about that experience.
Hi, my name is Teresa Erb, and I am a teacher with the Central Susquehanna Intermediate Unit. My classroom is an alternative placement, self-contained classroom set in a residential treatment facility. It consists of 16 to 20 male students ranging from 7th through 12th grade. I'm the only teacher in the classroom, and I teach every subject, including computer science. My biggest challenge in getting started with computer science this year was that I had so many different levels of computer science experience amongst my students. Trying to provide equal yet equitable opportunities for this group of students this year was definitely a challenge. It was fun to not only learn about different technologies, but exciting to watch my students problem solve, create, and learn through all of it. I am very anxious for what the future holds for education in computer science.
Thank you, ladies, for those wonderful introductions. It gives our audience a chance to see who you are as educators. And now that you've heard from them, let's talk a little bit about where our journey began. Our journey began with CSIU applying for and receiving a PA Smart targeted grant. We have several alternative schools under our care, and with the support of program supervisors and the dedicated teachers you just met, we developed ways to build computer science opportunities together into their academic day, because we see computer science being a key to unlock many doors in the students' future. The vision for computer science in Pennsylvania is that it be for all students. To accomplish this, it requires a focus on equity. When equity truly exists, there are appropriate supports established to ensure that all have the opportunity to achieve similar levels of success. Equity is not just about whether classes are available, but many times that can be the start. For our situation, we wanted to enrich the classroom culture in our alternative programs that supports diverse learners and promotes retention. To guide our choices for computer science activities and resources, we utilized the standards established in 2017 by the Computer Science Teacher Association, along with the K-12 framework to transform computer science from a subject for the fortunate few to an opportunity for all. Lastly, our own teachers participated in several professional development days to explore ways for them to teach computer science and build their own knowledge to a comfort level for introducing to their students. To have a successful foundation, our teachers selected Chromebooks as their main delivery device, as its versatility lends itself to a wide variety of computer science resources and activities. We also chose Code.org as a foundational curriculum to provide self-paced learning for their students that is also versatile to allow students to enter the computer science subject at a level they are comfortable with, but also provide scaffold supports to increase the challenge at a pace they are ready for. These are the devices we chose to start our journey with, allowing students at the earliest age to begin to learn the algorithmic process of coding off-screen, utilizing the Cubetto. To build their own robot from scratch and programming it with the Parallax language on-screen, which is the Bobot. While these are just a few of the tools we feel will enhance the ability of our students to learn coding, we know there will be more tools in their future. Now that you've heard a little bit of how we got started, it's time to hear the most important story, the stars of this program, and the reason that it is successful. You'll have 3 educators who signed on to be change agents for their students. Each one has their own unique story to tell. First up is Kayleen Fouts, who teaches elementary students at the 5-Star campus in Watsontown, Pennsylvania.
Hi, my name is Kayleen Fouts, and I am here to tell you about my computer science journey. It all started last year with an email from my supervisor asking if I wanted to be a part of PA Smart Grant and be one of the targeted teachers for our IU. And as a first-year teacher, I thought, well, why not? What else do I have to do? I live at home, I'm not married, I don't have kids, so it was a perfect opportunity for me. So as I began to connect with the other targeted teachers and the facilitator of it for the IU, and then going to Pat in Harrisburg, I started to fall into the doubt phase of doubting, why did I get involved with this? I'm not sure if this is something I'm going to be able to implement. I'm a first-year teacher. How am I supposed to start a whole new platform of curriculum and take care of all of my other responsibilities? So I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. But after connecting with the other teachers that are part of the grant and just taking baby steps into the implementation phase, I started small and worked my way up. I started by doing unplugged activities. So this would be just us watching videos and then completing worksheets, or kind of just doing interactive things. So for example, we started out by cyber safety. How do we stay safe online? Because many of my students didn't have any background in computer science or really technology or the internet exposure for that. And it was just a good place for us to start. Then we moved into group coding, and it was really, really a lot of fun. The kids loved it. I loved it. I would run the computer, and they would come up and touch the board where the new code had to go, and then we dance it out and see what the moose or the cat or whatever animal was supposed to do. And then we were able to debug if it wasn't right, or just keep moving on if it was correct. So that was a really awesome resource that I was able to get connected with through this grant. The next phase is that we used our Chromebooks that we also got, and the kids started to do code.org independently, which was awesome too. I thought I was going to be running around the classroom trying to be with everybody, but to my surprise, nobody wanted my help. So I really was just the facilitator. The biggest struggle really was helping everybody get logged on and make sure that they had the right computer. But once they were in there coding, I had no issues, and I had one student, he was actually my oldest student, and he did have a pretty significant background in computer science, and he was my helper. So if there was something that I didn't know, I always went to him, and more chances than not, he was able to answer the questions. So I kind of let him take the lead in answering questions, even if I did know it. I thought it was a great opportunity for him to be a leader and for as peers to collaborate. Next, we took a bigger leap into building Piper computers, which we also were able to purchase through this grant. Now, this was a little bit more challenging. Found myself having to bite my tongue a lot because I didn't want to just tell them what they were doing wrong, because there was a lot more cases of having to debug during the building of the computer kits. Unfortunately, the pandemic kind of got in the way of us completing our Piper computer kits, but through the whole process, the kids really loved it. They worked together, and it was awesome just to see their smiles and really doing an awesome job. And finally, recently, the last thing that we got to use this year through the PA Smart Grant was the Cubetto, and the Cubetto is kind of more targeted for my younger group of kids, and they absolutely loved it. It was super cute. They did an awesome job. The little booklet that it comes with, we would read it, we would master the travel that we had to do through the map, and it was just so much fun. And I realized that there was no need to have so much doubt, but it is kind of scary when you first see everything at the beginning. You just gotta dive in. And I did want to just throw out there, despite us having to do virtual learning, I'm still able to get the kids onto code.org. I've had great feedback from parents. The kids are doing some assignments. It's just, it's pretty awesome to see that we're still able to do this despite not being in the classroom. And to my final phase, which is, wow, what's next? So I want to see where we're going to go with this. We've made so much progress since the start of this last year till now. I can't believe that we're here. So I'm just excited to see where we're going to be in another year. And I'm just very excited for my kids that they were able to experience all these awesome tools and resources that they might not otherwise be able to, given the population of kids that are in my program. So I'm very appreciative for everything that we have been able to get and do.
Next, we have Jennifer Bowman, who teaches secondary students at the 5-Star campus in Sunbury, Pennsylvania.
So I decided to reflect a little bit on my CS journey throughout the course of this year. As I had said earlier, I teach high school emotional support students with a variety of different unique learning and behavioral needs. So getting to do this project was extremely exciting to me, looking at some of the barriers that our students face, including access to technology, which through this grant program, we were able to get some fantastic resources, including Piper computers. So as part of this, I'd approached my supervisor about the possibility of starting a STEM club at our school. and was met with a lot of positive feedback that this would be a really cool opportunity. So I proceeded to give my students a survey just to kind of gauge interest, see who might want to participate in such an opportunity, and had 5 students step up and say, yeah, that sounds great. One student said, I have no clue what that is, but sure, I'll try it out. And off we went. So we began by introducing the Piper computers and talking a little bit about computer science. So the students got immediately to work on assembling these. I will tell you, one of the hardest things for me was to kind of just facilitate the building of these machines and really give the students that autonomy to discover and learn on their own, even to some, come on, Ms. Bowman, get over here, show me what to do. Okay, you're doing a great job. Just a really cool experience. The students were able to build the Pipers successfully. And actually, one of the Pipers was put together, and we discovered a real strength in one of the students, which was amazing. That Piper, it didn't work. And the student said, well, I really want to know what's going on. So he took the entire thing apart and rebuilt it, discovering that in the initial build that the speaker had come loose, and was so proud of himself that he was able to accomplish that task, which I thought was a humongous win for a student, that to get them to read something is a struggle. To get them to participate in class had been a struggle up until that point. And now I had a hook. This was something they loved to do, and they would work in all of their classes just to have the opportunity to stay and work on their Piper and to explore with it and to have some time with other students exploring with these devices. The opportunity to introduce computer science not only in the STEM club opportunity, but also within math station rotations through code.org, the use of, we've been introducing scribblers to the students, was really awesome to see how students that during traditional lessons were at times a little less than engaged, to students that when you'd say, okay, well, today's part of your station, we're going to be meeting and looking at the scribblers and seeing how we can program them, to see those students really step up and get excited. The amount of learning that took place, in my opinion, was huge. Getting to use code.org and getting to explain it to parents, and especially now during this time away, during the COVID-19 pandemic, getting to talk to parents about code.org, what it is, letting them know this is part of our math class, that we get to practice some coding. And while it may look like games, these are not games. This is an opportunity to really build that base of knowledge and learning. So that education piece for parents, I think, has been huge in really gaining their support. I'm really excited to see where this goes as we continue forward, engaging not only students, but parents and staff into seeing how successful all students can be when given that opportunity and chance to thrive with computer science.
Last up is Teresa Erb, who also teaches secondary students, but at the Montour Learning Center in Danville, Pennsylvania.
Here is a little bit of my classroom's journey into computer science for the 1920 school year. We started with some terminology. It was a whole new language. We had to learn about input and output. We had to learn about algorithms and coding and programming. We had to learn about digital footprinting and crowdsourcing. There were many other terms we needed to learn as our journey continued. Before we got into some hands-on activities with computers and other technology, we did some unplugged activities. While working on these unplugged activities, we learned some important lessons. We started to learn to be creative and problem solve. We learned to work in teams because in computer science, no one has all the answers. There is a lot of teamwork and collaboration. One of the activities we did to illustrate crowdsourcing was a card sorting activity. In this activity, the students worked in groups of 3 or 4 and had to find the best way to sort a deck of cards into groups of their choice. It could be by a number, color, or suit. It was time, so they collaborated together to try to find a way to get the fastest time. In the end, they realized it was better if they worked together to get the job done. It was easier and faster to have some help. Here are the benefits the class came up with for crowdsourcing. I would say the activity was a success. Then we did the famous write directions to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This was a fun activity. It made the students realize that there were many steps to making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The next unplugged activity was a paper pencil programming activity. The students had to write a program using only certain symbols to achieve a certain picture. As you can see by the students' comments, this activity was also successful. They were starting to think about the steps they needed to use to get the job done. Problem solving became a part of their process. Then we moved on to some online resources to help us get started in simple block coding. We used code.org for this. I liked using code.org. This program allowed everyone to work individually on their own and at their own pace. I was able to start my novice students out at a lower level and my more advanced students at a higher level. Everyone got to work at their own pace. Everyone succeeds. Next, we were able to build Piper computers. Students were placed into groups of 3 or 4 and began to build. As you can see by the pictures, everyone had their own unique method to get the job done. They had to learn to work together and rely on one another to problem solve building their computers. I was strategic in placing these groups together and placed my more advanced students with other students who may have needed the extra help in understanding the blueprints and building process. I had to be careful, though, that the advanced students didn't take over the project and they allowed the other students to participate. Once the building process was complete, they began to program their computers. The students were excited to see that the program included a Minecraft game. They learned to hook up buttons to move around in their Minecraft game. Flashing lights was another coding exercise they needed to complete with their Piper computers. The students were always anxious to get on and continue when it was time to get the Pipers out. They hated it when they heard me say we would not be working on the Piper computers today. Unfortunately, we did not get all the way through the Piper program before schools were shut down. While plans were being made to continue using other tools and technology, our computer science journey stopped there for this year. The plan was to continue the journey with other technology, like the Bobots, the Scribblers, and the Sphero. Oh well, that will be for next year. Our computer science journey will continue.
As you have seen and heard, CSIU is grateful for the funding that allowed us to bring computer science to a student population that is underrepresented. We are eager for them to write that next chapter. Thank you again for spending time with us to hear our story. We look forward to the questions you may have regarding this journey. Enjoy the rest of the CS4All Summit 2020.